demonstration of the Society for Creative Anachronism heavy combat. So all the people you see today, we're not actors. This isn't like medieval times where the fights are planned. This is a martial art and a living art that we're creating for you guys here today. So everything we're doing here is to share our passion with you guys. We do this on the weekends whether you guys are here to watch us or not. So that's what separates us from the demonstration fighters you can see next door or again in most red fairs. Today, everything you're going to see is fought at full speed and full ferocity. You're going to see that we're not using metal weapons. None of our swords are made out of steel or iron. Everything we're fighting with is a solid wooden, sort of like bamboo substance we call rattan. We use that because if we didn't, we'd be hindering each other a lot worse. The best you might get to see is maybe a few bruises, welts, and maybe a broken bone if you're extra lucky. So what we're gonna do is finish getting armored up. We're gonna come out here and just do some fights for fun to get ourselves warmed up and stuff, and then we're gonna break into more of a tournament setting, and we're gonna hear our names and we'll introduce ourselves and talk to you guys a little bit more. Does that sound good?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
And the first thing she's doing at this event is playing for you. Hope you'll enjoy.
Hi, everybody. Can I get a show of hands? Who likes dragons? Fantastic. I have a song about dragons I would love to sing for you.
Hey.
Lords and ladies, gather round, for let the bard has come to town, towing an extraordinary tale. I've journeyed forth from fair Caid, that my story you may hear. At my frightening words, try not to pale. I tell you I have met a devil ridden on its back, smelled its breath and stroked its frozen scales. I've seen its jagged razor teeth and met its eyes of black, and still survived to share with you my tale. As a bard, my heart I trust, and give into my wanderlust, and go wherever my feet choose to fly. Seek adventure that I must, and always have vociferously shunned a hearth and home, a quiet life. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought my ways would lead me into perils such as this. Never would I dream that I would fall into its maze, fall victim to a dragon's fiery kiss. Traveling through the mountains yon, I discovered at the break of dawn a heavenly music floating through the air. Steering me, it would soon be gone. I traced the music pouring on, and fell upon a sleeping dragon's lair. Its sleeping hum entranced me so, and calm and instantly I sat amidst its silver and its gold. The moment that I did so, it awoke and circled me in its claws so frightening and cold. Womanling, how can you dare to come inside the dragon's lair? Don't you know we feast upon your type? I closed my eyes to Christ did give, and wondered at what punitive atrocity might soon end my life. My cries seemed to bewilder it, I felt its claws fall, and its voice echoed through the hall. Womanling, how can you dare to come inside a dragon's lair? If you hear my wife, you will live, but you will never flee. I closed my eyes to Christ and give, was dressed in silks. I was dressed in silks and diamonds of white. We said our vows and my voice shook as round my waist his claws did hook. He drew me in his grip, growing tight. Will you not now kiss your groom, for I have spared your life? I shuddered, kissed his snout, tried not to cry. My dear, said he, so happy you have made me I could fly. Threw me on his back and took on through the night. As we flew out o'er the sea, my courage I then gathered me, released the spike that up till now I held. For free or dead I'd rather be than forced to ride in tyranny, and as I fell in darkness the beast yelled. Should I ever find you again, your death will be mine. This vow that you have broken now is done. I will not be generous, we meet a second time. Every challenge taken I have won. So Lord
Hi, my name is Gwait, and I like to fight and hit people with sticks. This is a sport. This is not a choreographed dance or demonstration. This is we're gonna actually try to hit each other. It's our sport. We fight with weapons made out of rattan, wrapped in tape so they don't splinter and come apart. And you'll hear some pretty good thumps out here today. My noble opponent here is Gideon. All right.
All right. Oh, good. Lost his arm, and like a true gentleman, Ulf met him on even footing by dropping his arm. There's no true knight or servant or actual combatant who can beat somebody with one arm.
I didn't realize it happened. A long time ago.
I'll see how many founders there are. Yeah, we got all of them. This is going so strong.
So I throw and pick up mine, right? Or I pick up his.
Well, to play hopscotch, you put both on right below the one there.
Okay.
See, this is how you play hopscotch.
On the butt.
So where you're standing is where you put that.
Okay.
And then you kind of throw
Toss
it to
this.
the one.
Throw this to the one.
Yeah. And you got it on it. So now you hopscotch. No, you can't be on the one because anytime there's a rock on a place, you have to skip it.
Skip it. And then you go all the way to 10 and back?
Yep, and then you go 2, 1,
Okay.
2, 2. And then, yep, and then back. And then you can't eat. Perfect. Now you do the throw in one.
You throw a thing. You have to throw a thing.
I have to throw it to one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have to throw
A different one. You throw it to 2?
And then see, you come back and you throw it to 2 if you make it all the way.
Chalk? I'd rather throw it. Okay.
Okay.
And I also throw it to 1?
Yeah, and then you skip through without stepping on any lines or falling over.
I skip 2? What?
And then turn around, and as long as you don't step on a line, otherwise it's his turn. Then you roll it to 2, then to 3.
Someone likes it too small.
Oh yeah, there's... Got it.
Now I throw it to 2.
Yep. But now you can't step on 1 or 2 or wherever the rocks are.
She wants to get rid of some.
I gotta
Oh,
get
you gotta come back.
Is it slow?
I had wanted to do this yesterday.
Oh, I didn't make it. Oh.
Now you gotta skip over the ones with the rocks on it. And the more people that play, you kind of have to like jump even further.
Counter rock. Oh. Okay, hold on. I gotta finish.
Take your rock, or do I have to add another one?
You got another rock, and then wherever you throw it to, then you can't step on that one.
It's really tiny. Okay, it's going on Facebook.
How much do you need?
I know.
Now you gotta try and do it. And
Let's get it out. 4. Well, it gets complicated. Yours is on the 2, right, Josh?
Yeah, mine's on 2. Right on the corner.
Mine's on.
Yours is, oh.
Going back. Here we
Mine's
go.
on the 6.
Yeah, come back. So, not 2, 4, 6.
2, 4, 6.
Okay. Oh, mine doesn't bounce very well. Okay. Oh.
So yours is on the what one?
Mine's not on the 2. Mine's not on the 2.
now, see, this is good for footwork when you're actually fighting.
Yeah.
You play and fight together.
That's where you said that's where it came from?
Oh.
Or 10.
Oh, about 10. So I guess you turn around on the 9.
Yeah.
No, I was...
Aw, that's cheating.
Well, I gotta throw it again, right? Okay. I don't know what that means.
Turn around on this tiny ass 9.
Whoa.
I think
All
I'm
right.
done. I need water.
Okay.
Ready?
Don't have the balance.
Thank you very much, guys.
Rojo is about 4 years old, but they grow very slowly, so he's still a baby and he's still fledging. He is a griffin. Very rare creature, but very intelligent, and they train very well. So he's very quiet when he's on display like this. He doesn't make noise and he doesn't eat when he's on my shoulder. So that way he doesn't get used to playing with things with his beak in front of children where small fingers could get hurt. So there we are. And I'm called the Griffin Lady. I'm Mistress Ellen Oaksbriar.
Beautiful job.
Thank you.
Ultimate dinner buffet.
So here I'm just trying to sharpen my little pin. There we go. Enough of that. That's more my little...
Is this your own blade?
Oh, this is my one. I keep losing these, so every time I make another one. So somewhere there's a little pile of these little things.
I didn't know enough of I didn't know enough of you guys before we did
Here I'm working on a hinge. Making the hinge hole the right size. For a hinge.
Cool. Since it has, like, it goes up and it goes up to the top here, and then it has straps that come down like this, and that aren't attachable, and so, like, it literally does not, it can't fit. Like, I could widen the lacing as much as I want, but it does not fit from here. It still has to be able to go from the front to go around the back of my shoulders. And it doesn't.
It is. It's, well, pattern welding. It's two different steels folded together. Stop that.
Okay. There you are.
No, there's the fire over here.
Where'd she go?
Oh, that's a little bit too hot. Stop that. Jeez. There we go. Let that cool off a little bit.
How often does your beard get singed?
Yeah, once or twice a year. Then I get it trimmed all the way back. It's about due for a big trim.
That's the face
Yeah.
I don't mind too much. It's just that smell. It's just like, ah, yeah.
A lot.
Oh, hello, come on in, take a close look. Yeah, the knives are sharp. Now what can I make? Another half of that hinge. depending on what type of steel they're making, could fold it 6 times, they could fold it 10 times. To make what I was read somewhere was that to make a 2.5 to 3 pound sword,
So usually it's just. Do you guys have any other questions?
Like poker, I guess.
Do you guys want to sit here?
Would that be a reference?
The flail. Injuring friends and foes alike since 1139. What people disregard about flails is that it's often more dangerous to yourself than your enemies. Painful learning curve, kind of like nunchucks. But once trained,
Fiber geekery contingent. The 3 graces of fiber. How about that? I don't know. Tammy and I both are all about spinning, and excuse me, Brigitte and I, and Lady Claire is all about dyeing with natural plants and substances. Aren't you?
Yes, the dress I'm wearing was hand dyed with madder to do a lovely pink, and then over dyed with blue woad later because the pink had faded. So.
Yeah. So she's all about experimenting with everything to find out what color she can make.
With the stick science.
Yes, medieval science. I got to go to OMSI this week and be part of the medieval science display.
Even if you collect the same plant in the same place the next year, the chemistry in it might be different.
Really?
The water could be different. You could be having it on for slightly longer. Things that you can do before and after. I say if you want the same color twice, put the 2 skeins in together.
Yeah.
You're not going to repeat that color exactly.
Right, so it's a one-off.
It's always a one-off. Poke it with the stick science.
What was the most common medieval dye color?
Well, woad for blue, weld for yellow, and madder for red. Those are the holy triad, and by mixing the 3, you can get all the colors of the rainbow.
Right.
Not the only things they had, of course, but the most common.
Right.
There were whole cities, actually, in England and Germany and France, devoted to selling woad. So when they tried to bring in indigo from India and other places in Asia,
they were
woad
not
sellers
happy.
went to the government and said, hey, no, we can't do that. We're going to be out of business. And the government, therefore, banned the import of indigo.
Indigo's got a slightly different color than woad.
Well, it's got more, actually it's the same dye chemical, but it's a higher concentration.
And I will eventually have spun enough wool so that I can do more dyeing. We did dye this with woad, which is interesting because you actually ferment the plant product, which removes the oxygen.
Yes.
And then with certain acids, when you take your fiber out of the dye vat, it turns blue right in front of your eyes because it hits the oxygen and changes color. How permanent is this?
Very permanent.
Very
Most
permanent.
dyes are what we call a direct dye, which means I can put the plant in the water and see the color in the water that's going to be. Woad, indigo, and the Royal Tyrian purple from history are a ferment dye. In fact, they don't have the dye color itself. They have a precursor chemical, which is why we have to do the fermentation vat to cause a chemical change.
Oh, it's medieval science.
Yep, more medieval science.
Does the woad need the uric acid like the indigo does?
Yes, it does, because woad and indigo both contain indigo tin.
And where do we get uric acid?
Fermented urine.
Yeah.
Man urine. Man urine.
It could be ladies too, but you know, it's usually men because they can go into a pot to save it.
It's easy. It's easy,
correct.
and we know
That's why I wanted
several
to smell the
people.
wool to see if it
Well,
was historically
it sounds
correct.
absolutely nasty, but if you let it sit for 3 weeks, it ferments into ammonia, and that's a common household cleaner
And we
even
all know
today.
what ammonia smells like.
I didn't say it wasn't nasty, but it's slightly less nastier than thinking about using your body products.
We have members that actually save their pee in apothecary jars so that it turns to the correct acid.
Oh, you
so
mean
that
our
we
most
can use
excellent
it.
Baron Finn?
Yes, I've seen it. He's just so proud of this apothecary jar of stuff.
Right.
It's, you know, but it serves a useful purpose.
I traveled 6 hours to an event in which he told me he'd left my jar at home by accident, but he'd brought in Seamus's because Seamus lived nearby, and Seamus was doing other things with it. I said,
we're going to segue off into some really gross stuff.
Yeah, you don't need to put that on the phone.
I've done that.
So wait, I don't need that. We could just do that at home. We live near each other.
Oh, have you?
My
Well,
dear friend Seamus
the
lives down in
Vikings were
Coos
all about
Bay,
the drop
and his
spindle.
thing right now.
Yeah. Probably not priced for
Cards yesterday. Just retro forge and look on the website.
If this is the card, I can leave it here and just scan it.
That is not his card. Someone else's. This is that one. But yeah, just if you want to take a picture of the sign to remind you, it's just redtrollforge.com.
Nice. You want the shield? You want to hold the shield? You want to hold the shield? Look at me.
Here, let's get her a lighter helmet.
Yeah, she's fine. Got her head up. Oh, you'll live.
All right. Oh, it's under your mail.
To woodland blazes I must fare, oh joli bois, je m'en vais, for my father and my mother to declare. In 6 weeks I shall be married then and there. To woodland blazes I must fare, oh joli bois, je m'en vais. In 6 weeks I shall be married then and there. To a grave near Lucian of my wives beware. To woodland blazes I must fare, oh joli bois, je m'en vais. To a grave near Lucian of my wives beware. For to Cornwall I shall go where he's aware. To woodland blazes I must fare, oh joli bois, je m'en vais. To woodland blazes I must fare,